Okay, hello everyone. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Paul, is it okay? Cool. Tibor, I will just correct you that our SELinux master is probably still then. Okay, so as Tibor said, my name is Lukas Vrabec. I'm part of SELinux team at Red Hat. And today we will talk about how to enable SELinux, and maybe you can ask why I'm talking about enabling. I'll tell you later. So our agenda that we start, what does it mean for me or for us that if your SELinux is disabled on your systems. Then I will briefly introduce you the infrastructure, also tell you later why, and how to enable SELinux. You will see it's pretty easy. Then probably there will be kind of issues. You know, it's common, so we will troubleshoot it. Then we put SELinux to enforcing, and the last step will be how to deploy it to our infrastructure. Okay, before we start, I prepared one more slide that kind of a lot of people start asking, what about Meltdown and Spectre versus SELinux? So last year I mentioned that probably we cannot mitigate damage after the dirty code. So this year I say that we also unfortunately cannot mitigate the damage of Meltdown and Spectre because it's hardware bug. Okay, so before we start talking about the enabling SELinux, I need to say that SELinux is enabled on Fedora and Red Hat Enterprise Linux and also CentOS. The policy is enforced by default, but unfortunately it's still common practice for administrators and sysadmins that they disable SELinux, then configure their services, and then try to enable it, and they have kind of issues. So, SELinux is disabled, and what does it mean for me? It means that your systems, your systems in production are not protecting during the window of vulnerability. You can ask that, what does it mean, window of vulnerability? So together in SELinux team, we are trying to explain SELinux on this picture, and I would say it's pretty easy. So this is timeline, and at this time, the vulnerable software is released. So during this time, the software is used, and somebody find some kind of vulnerability, and this vulnerability is announcement. And then the software developers and maintainers trying to fix, backport it, and release the update. And during this whole time, there is this window of vulnerability, and your system is not protected. So, proactive security helps to protect your system during this window of vulnerability, and one of these proactive security is SELinux, so security enhanced Linux. So, we are trying with SELinux to mitigate the consequences of exploits during this window of vulnerability. So this is it, and let's introduce the infrastructure. So I prepared a few servers. Basically, all servers are the same. There is SELinux disabled. There is a web server listening on 2 ports. One is standard 80, and the second one is 7070, which is, as you probably know, not custom port for where HTTP service listen. And then I have a cockpit installed there, and this is installed on Fedora 27, RHEL 6, and also RHEL 7. So, how to enable SELinux? Do you know how to do it? Okay, so yes, we have 2 ways. One is permanent, and second one is temporary. The temporary one is set and force 1, and but if you want to do it permanently after the reboot, you need to modify a config file. I will show you. So I need to use this. Okay, cool. So here you see the terminal where is a RHEL7 machine as I put get enforce. And as you can see that SELinux is disabled and also tux is set. So let's enable it. So I will modify the config file in /etc/SELinux/config, and from disabled I put it to permissive. Okay, this is the this is the first option, and second one is SELinux type, which is that you can use multiple versions of SELinux policy. The first one is targeted. This policy is default on RHEL and Fedora. Second one is minimum, where just only few processes are confined. And the last one is MLS, and MLS is pretty difficult, and I don't will talk about this today. We will use just the targeted. So I modified the config file, and right now I will reboot the machine. But before that, I will do following command. You can see it here on the slides, which is fix files on boot, and then I will reboot. So before I do this, this file system relabel will be proceed automatically, because the system detects that the SELinux was previously disabled. But for the demonstration purposes, I want to mention it that with this file you can relabel a whole file system on the next reboot. So I will reboot it, and we will wait for some time, but it will be pretty quick. So while the system will be relabeled, we can continue with the slides. So then we will use get enforce, and we will see that system is in permissive. And as you can see, that tux is no more set, but he's not anyhow protected. So still nothing.
What does it mean, permissive mode?
The second.
That it will not stop you do anything, but should produce some logs about rules which were reached.
Warnings only. No errors, no stopping application, but only producing logs that the system administrator can check and detect what preventing it from fully working. And another question one could have is it clear to everyone what the relabeling means?
Okay, so what does it mean, relabeling? So SELinux about the labels. So now every object on the system has some kind of label. This label is stored in extended attributes, and SELinux doesn't care about, for example, the path of the objects, but SELinux cares just about the labels. I will show you how the labels look. Yeah. Okay, so right now we can put get enforce. As we can see that SELinux is in a permissive state. So I have some web pages in my home dir, and I will just move it from my home dir to /var/www/html, which is a custom path for the web page content. So okay, so it should be there. So let's check it. Okay. So let's check our web content. So I switch to Firefox. And cool. We see the default WordPress. We see the default WordPress web page. So it's everything looks fine. And also I will try the port 7070. And this is our secret web page, and it also works. So far so good. Maybe you can say that okay, that web pages are working. That I don't see any issues. So let's switch it to enforcing. So I will use set enforce 1, and as you can see right now, that Tug is he's not crying and he's protected like a Terminator. And right, I will use SE status, which is also a command where you can see that current mode is enforcing, and but the permanent state is permissive. We will also change it, and as you discussed that right now the SELinux policy is enforced. If you are in permissive mode, it means that all the SELinux denial will be reported, but the policy won't be enforced. So let's do the same and check our web content. I need to open new. Oh, you see forbidden, and same thing with 77. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, but it's, oh, sorry. That's weird. But, light demo during the presentation. I tried, a few minutes before the presentation. It was forbidden, believe me. Sorry?
You perhaps have some labels applied to your my web page.
Maybe.
Contents.
Yeah. Let's continue. And okay, so it's not working. So let's start with troubleshooting. And the first question: where can I find these SELinux denials that told me what happened when I see the forbidden? So I can use few tools. The first one is SEAlert. By SEAlert, I mean this tool which we are working on, and you probably cannot see it, but this is an example of the AVC, and here is the raw AVC. I believe a lot of you see this, because there is a report button, and if you just report in, I saw it in my emails and Bugzilla. So the second one on the server side. SEAlert is also in server, and you can see something similar like I show you in your terminal, but by this I mean the GUI tool server. You can use the console and tool usearch. We can try it. I just type usearch -m -avc. Timestamp will be recent. And you can see some ABCs, but I think the more cool tool is Cockpit, and Cockpit provides SELinux plugin for troubleshooting SELinux issues, and I thought it's kind of SEAlert for servers. So let's check it on Cockpit. So. Oh man, this is. No, 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 no. Come on. What? Okay, still nothing. What now?
Now I because switch off tracking protection script.
Okay, so next time no more live demos on my presentations. Oh man, this is so bad. Oh, but we have still time, so. Are you enjoying DevConf? Cool. Oh, now yes. Actually, my manager said it. So.
Maybe some script blocking or something.
No script on block.
Isn't it a problem of private window?
Mm-mm. Okay, this is working. 1990. Oh yeah, cool. So here you can see SELinux plugin. Come on.
No, you can just use that button in the cockpit, switch it back to perfect forcing.
Give me a second. Oh, cool. So we can continue. Sorry for that. So as you can see that here is a SELinux plugin in Cockpit, and we try it, and I repeat it in permissive, and you know, the policy wasn't enforced, but SELinux denial was reported by audit daemon, and here we can see the SELinux denials. So I will describe all these denials in presentation, and then I will fix it live. Hopefully, it will work. So the first command I will use is the restoreCon. restoreCon is tool for restoring the labels on the system, and basically this tool is checks the defined SELinux label on every object, and it's compare if the actual label on file is same as in the SELinux predefined in SELinux. So, for example, I definitely will use following command. Then I will restore the labels on the custom path for web content. I will tell you why we need to do this. Then, as I said, the TCP port 7070 is not default port for HTTP. So we need to tell SELinux about this change. And the next the tool for do this to tell this is SEManage port, and this tool is for handling the SELinux labels on ports, because we also label ports. So you can add SELinux labels for ports and or modify. Few commands. The first one is SEManage port -L, which is the list. Actually, I can show you. I will type, and I will grab HTTP port 3 label, and we can see that we label HTTP. We label following ports, which is 80, 81, 443, and others with HTTP port. And then we have also, it's because of grep, but we have, for example, Pegasus HTTP port T, and the label and the port definition is for 5988. So as you can see, there is no 7070. So this is the reason why I used following command, and I will label TCP port 7070 with HTTP port T, and this port will be, here. Then also the secret web page is in the following path. So as you can see that I modified the following directory. I just changed the name, and we need to tell SELinux about this. And the tool is for this is SEManage fcontext, and it's tool for handling labels on system, on objects. And you can imagine that object is file, directory, symlink, socket, and others. And also we can add a SELinux label or modify it. Also you can see that kind of popular commands. The first one is SEManage fcontext -L, which is pretty same like I use SEManage port -L, but with the context. This is how we will fix it. That I add a label for following directory. I add following type. Also, I will show it how to do that and how it looks like right now. And then we will use the restoreCon, because here we tell SELinux how to label following directory, but actually we also need to restore it here. So this will be troubleshooting. So let's do this back cockpit, hopefully. So this is first SELinux denial. Here you can see you can see the row SELinux denial and important things that, are you able to see it? No? Okay. Better? Cool. So, important thing is that we see that some process with following PID named HTTPD, which is the Apache, with following context, but the most important part is HTTP_T is trying to bind on unreserved port T, which is labeled for port 7070. So this is how SELinux denials look like, and we have some solutions for this. And for example, I opened this first one, and the SELinux plugin in Cockpit is trying to say that you can use following command, which is semanage port, and if you label the TCP port 7070 with one of these ports, it should work. So let's do this. Oh, sorry. And then I used list, and as you can see right now that we tell SELinux that following 7070 TCP port will have HTTP port _T label. So, okay, let's delete it and let's continue. So again, another AVC, and here we can see that again, HTTPD with following context, with following type, is trying to get attributes on some file. So the file is here, and the label is admin_home_T. So let's check it. So I am here, and I type this, and you will see that the label of all files here is admin_home_T. And question is why? The answer is pretty easy. I moved all files from my home directory to this path. Okay, and as I said, these labels are stored in extended attributes, so we need to fix this, because definitely you don't want to have labels admin_home_T on HTTP content. So we will use restoreCon. Sorry, we probably don't see it. And here you can see that I executed, and you see that a lot of files the labels on these files was changed from the admin home T to HTTP D syscontent T, which is fine right now. Also, if I check for the solutions, then also the SELinux plugin will tell us that use following command, which is basically the same. I just use one more parameter, which is capital R, and it's for recursive. So this is okay. This is also okay. Another AVC is related to same issue. Again, we can see the HTTPD T context for the process, and the object, this file, and also the same thing, admin home T, which is also fixed. This is also the same. Also the same. Oh, up. Okay, one thing is missing, and it's related to that we saw the secret web page on the 7070 port, and the reason for this is, I don't know, maybe somehow I modified this machine before the talk, but oops. Okay, so as you can see that I will show it here. Okay, this is a custom path for the web content, and SELinux doesn't know about it. So as you can see, the label for index.html is var_t, and question or the answer why this label it's because that we define in SELinux that /var has a following label, and there is no more definition, it's inherited. So this is the reason why. So I can use the command SEmanage context a t httpd sys content_t for var www new okay. So and we can use SEmanage fcontext -C -L, and here we can see that the parameters, the second one is -L, which is list, and -C that to show me just the local modification, and this is local modification because I already did it. And you see that I specify that following path will have the following label. So again, restore con. And right now, hop, and you can see that httpd sys content t is on the index.html, no var anymore, so also fixed. Okay, this is pretty it. So again, I try get_env4. It's permissive. I put it to enforcing. As you can see, okay, enforcing, cool. And where it is, for example, this window. Oh man.
What's your port?
Okay. And 7070, so both web pages are working, and we are in. So as you can see, no issues. It's really easy. Okay, thank you. So everything is working, and I did this on the one machine. But what about the next RHEL7, next RHEL6, and Fedora machine? So I don't want to do it by hand. So let's deploy it, and for this I will use Ansible. So I will use following Ansible role. Actually, here is pretty good organization on GitHub called Linux system roles, and here is the SELinux role implemented by Petr Lauterbach. Petr, could you please raise our hand? So, okay, so expected functionality. Just quickly, you can set permissive on enforcing state. You can do restore con operations. You can set booleans. You can set also the file context. Manage logins, because you can also confine the Linux users to SELinux users, and also manage the ports. So probably I made a mistake when I wrote this, but probably you cannot see this, but I show you the example on terminal. So how to do it? You just install the Ansible Python 3, and using the Ansible Galaxy, you install the SELinux role. So inventory file. In inventory file, I have following machines, and let's check it if it's working. So I can close this. Okay. So I will ping all the machines. Okay, so the response. So let's check for the SELinux state. I will just modify it. So as you can see, the SELinux is disabled on all systems. So this is how the role or how the playbook looks like. But I don't know if you're able to see it, but maybe I can open it here. Probably this is better. So here is the pre-task when I set the states to permissive, and I will reboot the system. Then wait while there will be relabeling of the whole system. Then we'll connect again, gather the new facts, and this will be proceed only if the SELinux is disabled. And then here I define Ansible variables. When I can open it in file, my setup, and here. Then I put SELinux to enforcing for permanent state. The temporary I also use setDem for 1 because I don't want to reboot it. Here I define new type for the following path. Here is the restore con part, and here is the labeling for the port. So this is basically it. So I try to execute it. Oh, no. Come on. Where is the command here? Okay. So right now we set SELinux to permissive. The systems are relabeling. That's why we are waiting. Thank you. Huh? Yep.
Can you not relabel it without reboot?
Sorry?
Is it not possible to relabel without reboot?
You can do it. You can do it. You will just use the restore con for the whole root. sorry. Question is if it's possible to relabel without the reboot. Yes, it is possible. Yeah, you will just use the restore con minus capital R and for the whole root. That's all. Okay, so it's slow. I don't know why. Oh, cool. It's working. Any other question? Oh, okay.
Maybe SELinux.
Yep.
Nice program. I can't find him.
SELinux?
Yeah.
It's installed by default on Fedora. So, or you can use.
Now I met two machines and this command is not.
Where it's not installed. So we will use DNF for Fedora, for rel yam install policy core utils. Yep. So you can here see all the changes. So this is the SELinux f context. This is the restore con, and here is the f context port. Okay, so right now the task's finished, and with the ansible A. You can see that everything is in enforcing. So basically, this is it. Yep, I tried. So that's all for this. Also, the slides will be publicly available. So if you want to play with Ansible role, here is the link for it. So any questions? No. Then thank you. Oh, sorry.
If I want to change the distribution labels of some paths, who should I contact?
Who should I contact? So you want in distribution policy, for example, in RPM package SELinux policy in Fedora or ORL, you need to file a Bugzilla against SELinux policy, and we can discuss it. So you will contact me with this. Yep.
Do you know anyone using MLS mode for SELinux?
Yes, some people, but sorry? Repeat the question. So question is who is using the MLS, and the US. It's for government, mainly this. No.
My question is quite silly. When you did all these changes and you tried to reach your page, but you wasn't able to do it until you type the IP address. Is it always like that? So you need to use only IP address after?
No. It's some bug. I don't know why. Okay. No, but it worked. I don't know, 15 minutes before the talk. So.
Okay.
Because you try to use HTTPS, not HTTP.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So thank you. Yep.
Maybe where do you find the description of context which are used by SELinux policy? You know it from heart, but it would be beneficial to have it documented in some standard place and distribution. If you want to troubleshoot something, or I don't know, is it somewhere? Or?
Yes, we have a SELinux policy minus doc. Repeat the question. Sorry. So where is the documented the definitions for the objects? So we have the for all SELinux module. For example, for Apache, we have SELinux mem page, and there are the list. For example, all the HTTPD related types for it. For example, how I'm working with this with these contexts. So basically, I'm trying to use the SEManage context minus list and trying to see, okay, that it's related to, for example, Apache. So I try to list the Apache related the path, and I see the context. But we have also documented it.
Maybe just a remark. Maybe it would be beneficial to make all these tools installed by default for better troubleshooting of SELinux. Less people would disable it in install, because by default you don't have some good tools to troubleshoot it. You have just audit system in rel and so on. So it's not so easy to work with it.
Okay, we'll talk about it with the rest team. Sorry, repeat the question? Or okay, repeat the question. So, tell me the question. I will repeat it.
Is there a way to list for a given label for a given program all it can access according to current SELinux policy? What directory labels, what port labels, what?
You need to try to use some kind of command, and it will tell you that everything. Oh, could you repeat it? Sorry.
He asked, what is allowed? If I want to run a command, what is HTTPD allowed to do? List me everything
okay.
HTTP is allowed to do.
Okay. We have a tool for it, and the name is SESearch, for example, and I can use. I will do the example. So minus capital E means allow. So I will do the source context, which is a context of the process. For example, HTTP d_t. The type for target context will be, for example, HTTPD sys content_t, and I can say that I care just for the files. So I will execute it. It takes some time.
But you have to know these words.
Yeah, but you can use the man SESearch, and everything is described here that this is allow. This is the capital A is to find allow rules, and here is the source context, the target type, and everything is here.
You don't have to use all options at once. You can simply use dash big A and list all allow rules.
Yeah.
Or use dash T and list only rules which are targeted to the context.
It's showing how many rules you have.
Run this one.
Here we return right now.
Run this one. Run this.
Sorry?
Here we return. And so
it's a lot of rules. It's kind of lot of allow rules for Apache. Yeah, some of them are duplicated, definitely. Okay. Any other questions?
You even talk about booleans.
Yeah.
Is there a simple way to know what a boolean effectively does when you change, for example, to allow sysadmin to SSH?
Okay. So you can use SEManage boolean again -l. For example, you talk about the yep. Oops, sorry. Okay, so here is the for example list of the booleans. Here is the present state, the default state, and here is a description. So again, you can use the SEManage boolean for this. Did I answer your question or not?
Yeah, but it's very unclear from the description what is effectively allows you.
Okay. If you want to see all the allow rules which you allow by turning it on, so you can use the tool SESearch for it. So I use SESearch -a and it will be, it should be minus C, and I type here, what's the name of the boolean, sorry. It's SSH underscore sysadmin login, so I will do search AI C grep SSH sysadmin login. Oh, okay, this is the new version of search, so it's just this. But it takes quite a lot of time because I don't specify anything in search. So, but definitely by this you will see the all the error rules. Oh, it's here. So this is when I turn on SSH sysadmin login. So these allow rules will be allowed. So if you don't have more questions, thank you for your time, and that's it.